Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Salisbury Center, powered by Monster Energy for CageZilla 74. My name is Chris Fuller. I'm going to be your ring announcer for the evening. I'm joined as always by my good friends up in the booth. We've got Sadiq Yusuf. He is a CageZilla legend, and Kirk, UFC featherweight fighter. Sitting next to him tonight, we have Josh Francis. He's a local pro fighter, and he's representing this Disciple MMA. And in just a few minutes, Charles Fujisco from UFC Fight Pass and the owner of District Martial Arts will be joining them in the booth as well. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if I can ask everybody to please rise. And gentlemen, remove your hats. Playing on our national anthem.
Oh, nice. What a coincidence. I've actually gotten a chance to train with Billy a few times. Him and his teammate came up to our gym for a few sparring rounds. He's heavy on the grappling side. His striking is not bad. You know, he's slick. He switches stances often, but his jiu-jitsu is actually very good.
Very nice. So yeah, striking background or wrestling?
I'm actually not sure what his initial background is, but I know for sure he's a lot more comfortable on the grappling aspect.
But a very dynamic fighter at that.
But that could also be based off our rounds is going, you know. It's
yeah.
Like, hey, I'm sparring with Sadiq. Let me try to grapple, you know.
Right. Exactly. Yes, of course. I would hate to. Yeah.
Now I do know he does train with Mike Moses and them, so they have a good group of guys, you know, not just athletic wise, but just a good group of good individuals.
Right. Good team, good group of team.
Oh yeah, if you guys don't know, right now our guy Charles isn't here, so they're finally leaving it us to hold it down. So as you guys know, I'm Sadiq Yusuf. It's not my first time here, and I always have a great time whenever I'm up here. So I'll be holding it down. And
I'm Josh Francis, filling in for Charles as well. Doing my best. This is my second time.
Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's James Michael.
And speaking of Charles, here he is right now because he's walking out his fighter who apparently took this fight on 2 weeks' notice. So that means Charles does have a lot of confidence in this guy.
Absolutely. Also a great team out of DCMA.
Now, Charles has said this guy's a heavy on the grappling side. Like, out of his own world, the striking still needs a little bit of work. But now I'm very interested to see this matchup because although Billy also relies on the grappling, I think he's more free. He freely strikes more often, and now that he's going against somebody that's going to be heavy pursuing the grappling against him, I'll be very interested in seeing this matchup.
It'll be a good classic matchup.
Man, James looked like a freaking statue, man. This guy is built solid.
Boulder shoulders.
And at 145, 5'9", you know, he fills out the weight class very well. Yeah. While I see Billy's a little bit on the smaller side.
Yes, just smaller stature, but these guys are stacked. Absolutely.
That's good. It's always fun being the first person to start off the night. You know, get the fight out the way. You get to relax and, and join the homies in the back.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to shoot it back off to Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla featherweight division. Starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'9" and weighing in at 145 pounds, fighting out of Evolve Academy, he is making his CageZilla debut. It's William Kirk. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'9" and weighing in at 145 pounds, fighting out of District Martial Arts, also making his CageZilla debut, it's James Michael. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla featherweight division. Your referee is Gabriel Balajic.
Now let's see who's going to be the first one to implement a takedown. And the first fight of the night, you know the jitters are still going through. You guys got to be the first one to start off the action. The striking might take a little bit of time to get set, unless if you're just swinging for the fences. But the grappling comes easy. And like I said, hey, Billy seems to be the one that's more ready to throw hands. I don't like his reaction to getting hit.
Yeah, he's moving forward, but yeah, I'm not liking the flinching going on.
And this is usually the time where the fighters are able to settle down, you know, get against the fence, get some nice breathing going on, and now you can realize, okay, I'm actually in a mixed martial arts fight. We've done this before. Right. This is no different from practice. It's just now there's a million people watching me.
Yes, yes.
And this is what I saw when I trained with Billy. You know, he loves the grappling, and when he gets on top, he's pretty calm. And James is a blue belt right now, but I'm not sure if his grappling will be able to hold up with Billy's, you know. I'm not exactly sure what Billy's belt level is, but he has good decision-making when he's on the ground and good, decent transition.
Yes, yeah. It looks like he's able to recognize when to engage, disengage in these sequences right here.
Oh, beautiful. That right there is a good way to negate wrestling, isn't it, Sadiq?
Yeah, and to each his own, you know, if you're very confident on your jiu-jitsu, some people are okay with not scrambling right away. But with me, whenever these takedowns happen, I'm always going to look to scramble before I maintain guard.
Looks like James is comfortable down there.
A little bit of too much jiu-jitsu on both guys' sides. Sometimes you forget this is mixed martial arts. And then in between these scrambles, there's opportunities to land good elbows and big strikes that neither opponent is taking advantage of. And great butterfly sweep by Billy.
And that's what I was saying. I was surprised that James was comfortable staying down there with such a high-class wrestler like Billy, and now we see what happens.
But the thing with James is, as Charles has told us before, his approach to mixed martial arts is also on the grappling aspect, you know. So sometimes you're going to rely on what you're comfortable with.
Well, he is on the receiving end of it right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, his opponent happens to be a little bit more comfortable than he is.
Right.
Doing the same exact game plan. But he's doing a good job of negating any damage, you know. Right now, Billy's kind of he's a little bit too jiu-jitsu focused instead of mixed martial arts, you know. You got to start looking for opportunities to land strikes.
Already see some pretty significant swelling on the left side of James in his rib cage area, so I don't know where that came from.
Great grapevine. And like I said before, a grapevine is really good to maintain position, you know. It's just with MMA, it's a little bit hard to posture to start delivering strikes, you know. But with amateur 3-minute rounds, you're taking a lot of time off the clock by doing this. Nice transition to the leg lock, and he used that to escape. And as you see, when they get to their feet, I could definitely see James is a little bit, it's like the muscles are in the way of him letting go of his hands, you know. He's a little bit too strong. He just has to relax his hands a little bit. And I'm sure his corner's going to tell him, hey, let's calm down, you know, throw a few jabs. He landed a very good right hook in the beginning of the round, and Billy reacted very strangely to it, you know. So he just has to relax a little bit and let your hands flow.
Yeah, maybe they come out this round with that nerves broken a little bit. That second win now.
Yeah.
Come
Like, okay, we didn't die, you know?
Yeah, not made of glass. Yeah, absolutely.
Both of us are this is our pro debut. All right, that wasn't that bad. Now let me go do what I do at practice.
Absolutely.
So guys, if you're Charles DeGisco right now and over there in James Michael's corner, are you trying to tell him to stay away from the wrestling aspect of the fight? You want him to stand up a little bit more?
Not necessarily stay away. It's just be a little bit more cautious when we get to the ground. And I will tell him more to let his hands go, you know, because he got a good reaction out of Billy when he did touch him.
Yeah, and that's something that you touched on a second ago. Once both fighters were on the ground, there was no damage being delivered by either fighter. They were just comfortable with jiu-jitsu and wrestling and not delivering a whole lot of punishment.
Yeah, hey, it's your pro debut, man. It's like, to be honest, I might tell my fighter the same thing. Focus on what we do better. Oh, great jab from Billy. Yeah, James needs to give himself some space to work. Right now, he's crowding his own punches and engaging in a clinch. And when he got in the clinch the last time, it looked like Billy had the better of the position.
Yeah, that jab there might have stunned James for a second.
Great double underhook by Billy. I think James is looking for another hip toss, but that's very, very hard when the guy has double underhooks. So, you know, good takedown straight into mount.
Back into the mount position. Great bind of the legs.
Now let's see if Billy can actually do some damage this round. You know, he got a lot of time on the clock. There's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
And that's a easy misconception to make about that mount position. It seems like it's probably the best position to be in, but it's not. You know, you can't. It's hard to get shots off even against an inexperienced guy.
Yes, and with MMA and guys are so strong and so good at doing scrambles, a lot of them just one bump creates enough space for them to get their way out of there.
It's just proper timing. Time that bump, and they can't land their shots anymore.
It's one of those things. I know personally for me, I prefer half guard. What would you say?
Absolutely, half guard or back control. Back control. You can sit on that leg in half guard and just pound away. Hammer fists.
James found a way to get back up, but again, you know, it's not the right control is not being done for mixed martial arts. It's kind of too much jiu-jitsu oriented kind of grappling.
That's exactly right. It looks like we were watching one of our Copa fights or matches or something where they're so focused on jiu-jitsu. There's no punches being thrown from the bottom, no elbows, nothing.
And to be honest, that's one of those things that also come with experience. You know, it's although you practice mixed martial arts, sometimes when it comes to actually fighting, you're still doing martial arts individually, not necessarily MMA, you know? So it's like when we're wrestling, it's time to wrestle. Right. When we're doing jiu-jitsu, it's time to do jiu-jitsu. When we're striking, it's time to strike. Instead of finding a way to blend everything together.
That is the tricky thing about training in mixed martial arts as well.
Exactly. Now we're back with Billy having top position. Now he's in half guard, and now he has a better room to work, you know? Looks like he's getting close to getting mounted again.
James working on that sweep from the bottom, working that deep half.
Yeah, so be careful he doesn't get caught in the darts here.
Good sprawl. Now he's just got to watch his neck on the way up.
James's corner is saying, don't worry about that single, just try to get out of there.
Doesn't look like he's working for a choke, though, just control.
Yeah, just control. You know, trying to keep heavy hips on him. Before, I thought he was looking for a darts, but now it sounded like he's just trying to stay heavy. Yeah. Oh, great scramble here.
Got to come out, get those hips high.
Now, this is one of those things where, although James is in his wheelhouse, you're still behind, you know, so you're losing. And this is third round. You're down 2 rounds. We got to do something else, you know. The grappling is not necessarily working in this fight. This guy is a little bit of a better grappler than me. We have to try to strike.
We got to start finding another route.
We are 2 rounds into a MMA fight, and both of these fighters look fresh. I mean, they don't look like they've taken any damage at all.
How many strikes have actually been thrown?
Yeah. And to be honest, you can see both of them are well trained, especially when it comes to the grappling aspect. Because as you said, they don't look like they're dead. You know, this is the first fight of the night. Both guys are 0-0. And usually when that happens, by the time the first round is over, both guys look like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. But since they're both doing something that they're relatively comfortable with, they're all right.
And Josh, we talk a lot about the adrenaline dump that inexperienced fighters or lesser experienced fighters experience in their first fight or two, and
these guys look fresh in that aspect too. I mean, their gas tank still looks pretty full.
The gas tank looks full, but I think the nerves are still kind of there. You know, they're still kind of breaking out of their comfort zone right now, which is, now we're seeing the striking
exactly. Going. Now we're starting to see some mixed martial arts. And both guys now should be like, okay, we survived 2 rounds already. I don't like this for James, though, you know. I feel like we've already gone through this wheelhouse. We've seen how this ends up, you know.
Also, things change a little bit in the 3rd round when fighters are sweaty, right? And it's pretty warm in here tonight, so some of those wrestling holds and jiu-jitsu holds.
Yeah, you start to slip. That's very strong hits by Billy.
Very strong. Good control there.
Applying a lot of pressure, and right now I like to see James get his head out or pick a side. You know, as long as you have your head down in the middle, you're just having time go by, and you're burning a lot of energy.
So he's trying to pick him straight up, and he needs to turn a corner here and get his hips out. And
great Kimura. He used the Kimura to get stop the takedown. And now we're in half guard with two minutes left. You know, that's one of those things. Is like when you're when you're winning, it feels like that time is going by forever. But when you're losing, that time goes by in an instant.
And to touch back on what you were saying earlier about, you know, and this comes with experiences, having the ability to disengage and re-engage in situations and scrambles. Once you get taken down, getting that butt up, moving fast, you know, to the cage, or just getting back to your feet as soon as possible.
Yeah,
that's something that definitely
you guys
comes.
will be surprised by how many fighters aren't necessarily the greatest wrestlers. It's just they don't stop, you know, and that will help you out of a lot of positions.
And that's an attitude. Like I said, it's an experience thing and an attitude thing. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, great transition to a triangle armbar.
Belly down.
Oh,
beautiful.
Nice finish by Billy.
Very nice.
Great work, you know, and to be able to do that in the 3rd round of your amateur debut, you know, that shows a lot of composure.
Yep. It looked like when he took James's back, initially he was too high. He was way up on the shoulders.
Yeah, he was high, but he was already in a reverse triangle position, you know. Then he just kind of tilted off and turned it into an armbar.
Yeah, whether that was planned or not, that was a great transition. And to do that while sweaty is very impressive.
Nice way to start off the night. To be honest, and I know James, of course, is going to naturally be down, you know, but it wasn't a bad showing, you know. You still show some competency on your grappling aspect. Now we're just going to work on the striking and become more comfortable with actually being out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he's giving us a little dance. Being the first people to open up the night, man, that wasn't bad at all. You know, sometimes it starts off with the more independent guys. You know, although they're both 0-0, that actually looked very, very high level for an amateur fight.
Absolutely. They both come out of great gyms as well. So I'm not saying we don't need those guys, those independent guys, but it's great to see more guys coming out of legitimate gyms.
Yes.
You know?
And when it comes to independent, you never know what you're gonna get.
You never know.
They might be crazy enough to where they never trained before, or it might just be somebody that's super crazy and is like a 4-time NCAA champ that just decides to not join the gym.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, now we're gonna throw it back to Chris.
Salisbury Center referee Gabriel Balajit has called a stop to the action 1 minute and 50 seconds into the 3rd round. For your winner by submission due to armbar, it's William Kirk.
Yeah, like I said before, when I trained with Billy, everything we saw tonight is kind of what I saw his game was, you know. I'm not exactly sure what his belt rank is, but he's very competent on the ground. Right. Striking still needs a little bit, you know, but it's not bad. It's good enough for especially at his level.
Unless you're a specialist, once you came in, like I think that is the last thing to really come into fruition for a lot of MMA fighters in particular. The grappling, we see a lot of wrestlers come in, so they're very comfortable getting there. But yeah, the striking seems to come last with a lot of guys, including myself.
It's that nanoseconds that makes like the difference.
Like and subscribe to CageZilla.